And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to today's broadcast, live from the rinks here on the islands and streaming on LI Sports Network. It's game 2 between the Stony Brook Seawolves and the Syracuse Orange after an electrifying showdown last night. Mike Calandra back and ready to bring you the action alongside my great pal of mine, Trevor Magnani. And that was the best way to summarize how last night's contest went. A back and forth barn burner all the way to the very end, but it was the Syracuse Orange getting a hold of the victory over the Seawolves.
Yeah, and a bit of a disappointment here for the Seawolves. They come in today here on the losing side of a 5-4 overtime loss. The Seawolves just couldn't get the engine running and couldn't get it running smooth or consistently at all last night. Tonight, the Seawolves have to come down tonight and play a full 60 minutes of hockey, keep it consistent, keep the penalties to a minimum, and try to keep the discipline in check.
And in those 60 minutes, they will be relying on a new goaltender in net for today. Heath Goldsmith, that is right. He's got one win this season. He picked it up earlier this month. But I must ask, how do you think this change is going to impact the way this game goes for Stony Brook?
Sometimes coaches have to introduce shock to the system, and changing your goaltender is one way to do it. You put a new goaltender out there, the team might react differently. You take the starter out, you put the backup in. The players in front are going to play a little bit differently. They're going to be more cognizant of what's behind them. At least that's usually how it works. But it all comes down to how does the team react on the ice to the change in personnel between the pipes. Are they going to play stronger? Are they going to be more on the puck? Are they going to check harder? Are they going to block more shots? And those are the things that coaching staff is trying to get out of the team when they make a change like this.
And sticking with the storyline of goaltenders, the Syracuse Orange, they will be using AJ Finta after he put up an astounding performance in last night's overtime victory, in which he stopped 30 pucks on 34 shots faced. And Stony Brook, they came close to getting the best of him many different times earlier on in the early periods. But here today, a whole different story. They got their hands full going up against Finta.
They absolutely do, and Finta pitched a gem last night. A couple of the goals definitely they might have wanted back, but overall, a good performance last night. Got the win in overtime, stayed steady, and for the Seawolves tonight, they have to find a way to solve the Finta equation and prevent themselves from losing 2 games to an opponent where on paper they should be beating them pretty soundly.
And beating them, they will try to do, as Finta comes in with a record of 4-1 in head-to-head play against the Stony Brook Seawolves. And for Stony Brook, they have the heavy artillery intact to get as much scoring opportunities as possible. And there's a big debut happening as well for the Seawolves. Number 4, there you see on the ice, Long Island native, former West Islip High School product, Max Gorzalanek. That's right, he comes into this matchup making his debut for head coach Chris Garofalo. That's going to help the offensive surge for sure in getting these shot opportunities on nets. But the key thing when it comes to these victories for Stony Brook on the offense is full contribution from all areas.
And right you are there, and for the Seals last night, they might have gotten 34 shots on goal, but a lot of those shots might have fallen in the lower percentage category of quality opportunities. But for the Seawolves tonight, it's about getting high-quality opportunities and high-quality shots on goal. So that way they're giving Finta a challenge tonight between the pipes.
And one thing that was paramount last night was the special teams play. We saw Syracuse have a dominant power play in order, going 2 for 4. The Seawolves, they struggled. They were able to cash in on the goal by Matt Anastasio, but Stony Brook, they got their work cut out from them. How are they going to adapt and try to fix that system so that they can get more positive results on the man advantage?
Well, for the Seals, it starts with staying disciplined. Early in the third period, they went down to a 5-on-3, and the Syracuse University Orange capitalized big time there. It's not scoring just once, but twice on both penalties. You take those 2 goals away, that's the game, folks.
And coincidentally enough, Stony Brook did the same. Took the lead, gave up the goal eventually a couple minutes later, and then overtime, and you know the rest. But the good thing is it's a new day, which means Stony Brook can get some sweet revenge. That's if the game plays to their advantage, and a win for them today against Syracuse would do wonders for them going into next week's rankings.
Absolutely. I've heard the Seawolves, the win is a must tonight. It's win at all costs for the Seawolves. We're going to take a break here. We've got national anthem starting lineups, and then it's time for a puck drop here at the rinks, where the Orange will face off against the Stony Brook Seawolves on Long Island Sports Network.
And we welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen. We are just a minute away from these two teams entering the ice. For Stony Brook, they will make their usual traditional main entrance to the rink here on the island. And leading his team to the ice will be Heath Goldsmith. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one, as the Las Vegas native will look to pick up his second victory of the season, this time on home ice, as he did it earlier this month on the road against University of Rhode Island. Meanwhile, AJ Finta and the Syracuse Orange are down below us, and Finta has his eyes set on a 5th victory over the Seawolves in head-to-head play. As we calmly await for the lights to go down, unless they're going to keep them on for this afternoon, as this game will certainly get going in a matter of minutes.
Well, they got the strobe set up, so I'm sure that the lights are going to go down.
And here we go. The music is bumping. The energy is building up. And here come and they are accompanied by the goal horn. That will sound anytime this team puts one in the back of the net. There were a handful of goals last night, and there's sure to be some more here today, evidently, as these two teams are heavy-powered and loaded with talent all around. And we'll meet the starting lineups in just a few seconds, which will be presented by the public address announcer here, as always, Leon Bassett. Connor Chesner having a few words with the head officials as the captain gets set to try to get another victory under his belt for his team.
I think the pegs were missing from the net. Saw the handoff there.
While that gets situated, teams stand in their respective lines before this ceremony gets underway.
The starters for Syracuse. Number 22, Jesse Duffy. Number 23, Connor Chester. Number 9, Matthew McEnroe. Number 17, Jeff McCormick. Number 29, Eli Pendergrass. And in goal, number 40, AJ Finta. And the Stony Brook Seawolves! On defense, number 2, Joey Chazera. His defensive partner, number 14, Terry.
The opening ceremony has concluded here at the rinks as the two teams get set for action. As we alluded to at the top of the broadcast, this is a must-win game for Stony Brook as they look to be positively impacted in the rankings going forward as they search for an ACHA tournament bid and more so. Meanwhile, the Syracuse Orange trying to make it 4 consecutive wins in head-to-head play against the Stony Brook Seawolves. And it will at least 4 consecutive on the island, dating back to last season. And here we go, AJ Finta in net, 5-8-1. Keith Goldsmith, 1-0, trying to pick up win number 2 this year. William Cormanick, the captain, getting things started for the Seawolves. Matthew McEnroe set for the Syracuse Orange, and we are underway. The Seawolves wearing different colors today, their traditional home white sweaters that were introduced last season to the fold, as this is played off sides by the Seawolves, where Syracuse will try to get their early licks in, donning the royal blue and orange jerseys here on the island. That one is won back to Duffy. Here's the captain, Chesner, trying to make it 2 consecutive games of goals. And another whistle blown. And it's a different start to what we saw last night. Last night, both teams playing with some trepidation. Here today, we got a lot of stop-and-go action from the puck drop.
2 whistles in under 20 seconds. Never a good sign if you have something to do after this game, but the 3:30 puck drop definitely helps in that regard.
William Cormanick couldn't win it on the tie-up there, and Malik gets tripped up. A play continues. Joey Trezera ended a goal drought for himself, scoring last night. As Stepney tries to gather the possession, Valenti tried to spearhead it forward. Instead, Stepney gathers it back, chucking it back over to Valenti. Valenti answers quickly with a dump in all the way down the end boards, but it goes for icing.
Missed breakout pass there. Let's Syracuse have their option of change, which looks like they're not going to take here, and Stony Brook with their opening lineup still out there.
They'll look to try to get a quick clear out of the zone before bringing out new reinforcements. They're currently held in a precarious position. Over a minute of ice time allotted so far by these guys, and here's a possible 2-on-1 chance. Stepney over to the far wing, and Malik missed wide. Had the opportunity in sight, but it wouldn't go. Back the other way. Here's Brandt leading the charge, and that was stopped by Goldsmith. Wenrick enters back in the zone. His first shift of the night of this afternoon begins with a twisting play up ahead. Syracuse trying to break out of the zone cleanly. Instead, Wenrick's going to sauce it back into the corner. Giving chase, the newest addition to the Chris Garofalo bunch, Max Gorzalanek. A Long Island native making his debut at the college level for the Seawolves here today. As Hyde almost ran into some trouble there. Lorenzo Mara scored last night. He too will be searching for another point or 2. Back the other way, Jack Wren. Another contributor for the Syracuse Orange in the goal scoring category last evening. And here's Hyde, back in the other way, wheeling and dealing, Robert Hyde to the net. He is stopped by AJ Finta, kicking the leg out, making his first big save of the afternoon.
2 high-quality scoring opportunities for the Seawolves to open the game.
Syracuse trying to get something going here haven't had the opportunities compared to what Stony Brook has given to them so far this afternoon. And this gets turned over. Here is Carter Rugg, the man that kick-started last night's matchup with the goal. And him and Emery trying to make some magic happen here in the early going. Instead, it's Stony Brook able to handle business and push it out cleanly. Here comes DiNapoli with a head full of steam. Charging in, and he's knocked down, crossing the middle. And this allows Syracuse to get some momentum to push back the other way. Heavy check thrown on Gaffney by Sember. Emery rushes over to keep the possession in the zone. Here's Rugg looking for an option. Held up against the wall by Trezera. A conference begins to brew in the corner. Valencia and now DiNapoli will move over to try to take a hold of the possession. And Sember once again making his presence felt in the zone, and now he's got the possession on his stick. Gives it over to Anastasio, another goal scorer from last night. Trezera trying to work in something here as Anastasio got belted along the pile of bodies that time. This one couldn't be cleared out, but it finally does get nudged further out of the zone cleanly by the Orange. But Lamb took a stick right there on the pad, and it gets turned over by the Orange. Again with a chance, stopped. Finta with the stick that time. Wenrick and the Seawolves trying to create some opportunity here. They have been thwarted off so far by Finta numerous times from the get-go this period.
Now, one adjustment we're seeing the Seawolves make is they're a lot more aggressive defensively, stepping up earlier on the Orange.
A total contrast from last night and how the first period began for Stony Brook and for Syracuse, nonetheless. As
you can tell, there's a lot more aggression out there tonight.
Absolutely. As you said last night, it was more of a feeling out phase. The two teams haven't played each other in almost a year, and here they are getting familiar with each other once again. So you know they're bound to be a different change of pace and energy throughout this matchup. As this is hitting the ceiling, and play is stopped. And if I had a nickel or a dollar for any time the puck hit the ceiling, I'd be a rich man, Trevor.
Well, unfortunately for you, that one hit a light, not the ceiling.
All right.
You can see the fixture swinging left and right up there.
Oh, wow. And this place has went through some major renovations recently, so they can't afford any more casualties to the equipment here. As we reach the 5-minute mark of this first period, still no score as the Seawolves came close earlier. Finta was holding his own as Cormanek was thwarted off that time. The Stepney trying to create an opportunity here as it's played across. Poirier dancing at the top, guarded by two players as Cormanek battles down low. He goes up against his captain counterpart, Chesner. Meanwhile, Brandt re-engaging with his line mates as they push back in the zone. Brandt stood up by Poirier, and Poirier's clearing attempt couldn't go out of the zone before it's plopped right back in by the Orange. The Montreal native Poirier. The Stepney able to connect with Mara. Lorenzo Mara looking. Plays it down low, and Nakagawa hot into the action. He answered the goal by Rugg last night as we're going to get a penalty here, and it'll be against the Seawolves as Robert Hyde is looking for an explanation as to why the call.
A bit of a conference here between the two referees here. Maybe some additional context or maybe an additional call here happening.
And it comes with a little over 6 minutes into the first period here. And for Syracuse, a big opportunity early. They went 2 for 4 last night, scoring back-to-back during a 5-on-3 sequence.
Cormanek still trying to get an explanation here from Sandos.
And Cormanek heads back to the bench as Syracuse begins their first journey on the power play. And this will begin imminently with Brandt, Fanning, and Duffy controlling the offense as Stony Brook with a big clear right off the bat.
Full change for the Seawolves here as they look to get a different look on the PK.
Haskins directing traffic as Duffy drops in the trailer. Here is Brandt getting it over to Chesner. Some trouble and difficulty for Syracuse entering the zone. Offsides called, and Stony Brook putting up a wall to prevent the entry for the Orange.
That comes down to what I was saying earlier before. Defensively standing up and making the entry harder for the Orange.
Stony Brook adjusting well and starting with that. You have to wonder if that's going to affect Syracuse in the long run here. As the Orange reset again. Duffy, quick touches along as Brandt gathers the zone. Brandt with more speed under his belt as Wenrick tried to clear it out. Now it's Labos who will no doubtedly push it out further, and maybe this will lead to a chance on the short-handed PK for the Seawolves. It was put to a stop by the Orange as they continue to find ways at struggling to get something going here on the power play. Another good step-up play that time by the Seawolves PK unit. That was done by DiNapoli as Gaffney circles back through the neutral zone. Gaffney, the hero from last night, trying to start up something here for Syracuse this afternoon. It's Wren backhanding one wildly across, and he gets another stab at it in the corner. A quarrel with Poirier as Poirier tries to knife it out of harm's way.
Very aggressive penalty kill here for the Seawolves. They're all over the Orange.
Oh, and that's going to be a call. And
his evening might be over before it even got started.
Poirier was dumped into the boards. He is obviously okay based on him skating around, getting adjusted. Meanwhile, the Orange will head to the penalty kill, and we have to wonder if this will be any major penalty to them. I do not
Almost
think that
has
will be.
To be.
No?
Almost
Okay.
has to be a major. You
Well,
take a cross check right on the numbers, right into the boards. You're checking most of the boxes on that. We'll see what the refs come up with here, but it would not shock me if it's 5.
Survey says.
Looks like it's just going to be a garden variety, though.
I think it really, when it comes to major penalties or misconducts added to that, it really comes down to if the player was hurt on the play in more cases. No, it doesn't.
No bearing.
No? Okay.
It's all about the action.
So
otherwise, you'd be doing a lot of rear view refereeing.
We'll collect our thoughts here as this power play will soon begin. Now it does. The first one of the afternoon brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates. The Seawolves 1 for 4 last night. The only goal scored on the man advantage was by Matt Anastasio, in which the game was tied up, and then Mara scored soon after before things went down to the wire in the very end. As Stony Brook works at the top and bring it down low. Quick fire wagon touches all around as Nakagawa sent it wide. Rebound, can it be stuffed home? No, it could not. Things starting to open up as Wenrick delays, fires, misses wide. Hyde out of the box in the power play as the Seawolves continue to work around the perimeter. Quick touches all around as Stony Brook is not able to execute that time.
Syracuse able to get a change here, doing well to hold Stony Brook off here early on in this power play.
Nakagawa rushing in there to take advantage of the opportunity, but AJ Finta put a stop to that.
Finta being challenged early here from the Seawolves. 5 shots on goal officially, and just as many good scoring opportunities for the Seawolves here on the first of their power plays tonight.
50 more seconds on the clock for this Seawolves special teams unit as Haskins awaits in the shadows. He's got the possession, swinging it over across, but going to be kept in the zone by Stepney. As Haskins and Poirier control the top, as Mara skates it right back in. Lorenzo Mara down the wing. Mara guides it over to the near wall. Stepney gives it back to Mara. Mara waiting. Stepney back to the point. Haskins controlling, firing through a screen of bodies. It loose and it missed wide for Anastasia. Rebound wheeled back in front. No one able to put it home. The chance is coming for Stony Brook, and there, Matt Anastasio almost collected another one, but he got rammed to the ice. Poirier, time running out, and that does it. Neither team successful on the power play as we are back to 5-on-5 hockey. Poirier and back in front, missing wide once again. Haskins takes the rebound off the boards, and that was stopped. AJ Finta putting up some crucial numbers early here as Charles Poirier escapes. Poirier still working somehow to the net. Haskins tossed it across, no one home. Gorzelanic rushing over to keep it alive, and play continues in the zone. Haskins with the keep.
Excellent pressure here from the Seawolves on this shift through the special teams and even past it, just pinning the orange in their zone.
And that sustained pressure still happening here. And
a little bit of a tie-up down there.
Maybe not for long as Syracuse has the possession. They are continue to run into
Anastasio.
Some major trouble here, and now we're going to get a penalty.
Here.
Him and his counterpart kept on going at it, and it will bring Stony Brook back to the penalty kill.
And this is what we talked about in the pregame here. Not taking the penalties are going to put you in trouble. And the officiating crew tonight has laid the law down pretty clear. They're not calling the initial, they're calling the retaliations tonight.
That was Jake Brown that was involved with Anastasio. Anastasio's really giving it to the head official from the penalty box.
And the referee and Coach Garofalo are going at it, and a lot of head shaking and a lot of japping, and Stony Brook has to kill another one.
Here we go. Syracuse 0 for 1 so far. So they quickly work the puck around at the top. Chesner. Duffy!
Out of the zone, and that's going to be offside.
Similar to Haskins when he tried to set it up to Stepney, just those aggressive feeds, getting the best of that time Chesner. That's always something you gotta be careful about when you're at the point. You don't want to get too aggressive with those passes. Either cause a turnover or you just lose control of it, not able to stay off sides, as we just saw by clear evidence that time. Cormatic running into trouble there, taking on almost 3 players that time as Brandt rushes back the other way through center, and another offsides called. Syracuse just getting some bad breaks to begin the power play here.
Well, it's just getting stuck at the blue line. They have to figure out some kind of change here. Break past the Stony Brook defense, whether it's you go to a dump and chase type strategy, but you don't really want to do that on a power play. You're just giving the puck up at that point.
And Stony Brook still showing that dominant.
They're very tenacious up there.
Yeah, and here's a chance the other way. Heath Goldsmith with the denial on Wren. Or was that Cook? Either way, a good save made by 32. And almost a minute gone by on the power play for Syracuse, the latest one of the period. And this is won by the Seawolves. But Syracuse able to control the tempo here. As this is tossed in front, blocked away off the pad of Goldsmith, and further cleared away by the Seawolves. Lord Winds will start it up from the back end with 50 seconds remaining on the power play for Syracuse. It's sent in back by Rugg, as Stony Brook tries to prevent Syracuse from cashing in on this latest opportunity. Half a minute to go now on the man advantage for the Orange. Wren from the top, off the post. Maybe the crossbar, it got iron.
It caught some iron for sure.
The biggest chance so far from Syracuse on this power play. Another opportunity, swatted down in the glove by Goldsmith.
Goldsmith standing strong here. A lot of these shots, though, coming from outside. He's able to get his eyes on them. See what kind of adjustments we see from Syracuse here with the last 12 seconds on this second power play.
They got Cato and they got Sabati waiting at the top with the three men that started off the period up front. As this is sent through everyone, stopped away by Goldsmith. A further hit thrown, and that'll do it. 2 unsuccessful power plays for the Orange. Admirable penalty killing done by the Stony Brook Seawolves. As Nestepny plops it forward, giving chase, Malik. As McEnroe tries to start things up again for the Orange as they work through center. Stony Brook prevailing every time Syracuse gets past the neutral zone. Stony Brook is there to put a wall on them, get them to cause an issue as Poirier and now Cormatic rush back to try to put a stop to Syracuse, and they do just that, but Goldsmith going to keep a trouble as he was knocked down, and so was the netting off its moorings.
Looks like Stony Brook is guilty of knocking the net off here and face it off to the right of Goldsmith here.
McCormick awaiting in front, but it's Nestepny back the other way. One-on-one. Nestepny dangles, but Duffy does a great job at mitigating the opportunity. However, Stony Brook keeps the pressure in the zone on Syracuse before Syracuse is able to carefully push it out of harm's way. Valenti fires one back in. It was stopped by Finta. Chesner and Duffy try to reset cleanly. And Cooper Smith and Valenti will carefully collect and try to start something up again. DeZaro first to the boards. Labos there for support. Labos banks it back to the point. Trezera sends it on over. Almost handled. And now we get a delay penalty against Syracuse. Stony Brook will go to the power play for the second time this period. Each team getting the luxury of 2 power plays each, and this one for holding. And it will be the captain, Chesner, sitting for 2.
And Stony Brook will get the full 2 minutes this time here on the Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates power play.
And Lorenzo Mara anxiously awaiting as Poirier and Haskins try to work some magic here. Nordstrom knocks his man down to the ice. And
fans looking for a call, they're not going to get it.
We're going to get another whistle, and now another power play.
And Poirier's incensed here with the referee, wanting to know why that initial cross-check wasn't called. He was victim of a stick to his back earlier. And I hate to call a trend out here, but it's one pair of arms making all the calls tonight. Trying not to get in too much trouble here. Just observing. Yeah. Now it looks like, is it Anastasio going, or is it Poirier?
I think they got the wrong man, and now they made the correction. So it looks like it is Anastasio, and that will soon be corrected, the number on the board, as the power play for Stony Brook becomes a 4-on-4 opportunity here for Syracuse. As they try to even the playing field once again.
You definitely tell a lot of intensity here tonight between these two teams.
Certainly. Down low, and that one got shoveled wide by Duffy. The hits are really ramping up now as Brandt couldn't keep it in the zone. Now Stepney. Labos looking to charge up. He got belted to the ice as Brandt rushed back in a hurry to make the check on Labos. And Brandt will try to respond on the offense here. Avoids disaster against Wenrick. Rushing in to keep it in the zone. Syracuse doing their part. 1 minute left of 4-on-4 hockey. Wenrick trying to take advantage of this opportunity as Finta had to play us away. And now Wren try to charge out of the zone here. Watch out. Mara lost an edge as Kowalski tries to start it up again. Instead, it's Syracuse getting the possession once more. And Wren galloping, trying to push ahead. Wren. Syracuse with another chance. Touched on, but missed wide off the stick of Cato.
Probably one of the best opportunities Syracuse has had tonight.
And this is a lead chance for Poirier on the backhand, and he sent it wide.
Didn't quite have enough to get that one pulled into the net there.
One-timer fanned on by DiNapoli, and we get another mix-up down low, and we're getting another whistle. High sticking, and
I think we're getting a call here.
This,
not your garden variety, but one that made contact, and it's going to be Syracuse going.
And
I hate to say, if you had plans tonight, I hope you have the ability to cancel them, because it sounds like we're going to be here a while tonight.
I don't think I can recall a game where I've seen this many penalties and power plays awarded in just in this amount of time. That's 3 power plays, or 3 penalties called for each side. Power play number 3 for Stony Brook. This one, a power play brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates, as the last one ended prematurely because of the penalty taken by Anastasio. 2.5 remaining in the first period. 1.5 minutes to go on the power play, the latest one for the Seawolves. There's Wenrick charging back up ahead with the possession in hand. Wenrick taking it on the journey. Hyde gets a touch on it. Nakagawa pinned up against the boards. Nakagawa escaping. Got it back to Wenrick. Wenrick tried to touch it back to Nakagawa, who wasn't there ready for it, but Nakagawa has it. Nakagawa controlling, delaying, trying to stuff it home in front, makes contact with Finta. Play continues. Desaro fans on the feed as Wenrick now handles business. Tried to throw it in front, it got blocked off a body and it went off the boards before he gets further cleared away by Syracuse's McEnroe. And Haskins will start it back up again.
So we're trying to keep it simple here on this power play opportunity.
The Stepney guides it along the wall. Haskins with a touch. Anastasio! No one in sight to receive the feed, as now Poirier has to race back and grab it.
Bit of a miscue there. What was an otherwise wide open point there. Poirier was a little bit more over. It's a wide open shot opportunity.
Poirier pushing the pace. Poirier gives it back to the point. Haskins controlling, firing, big block there. Final minute of play has been reached in the first. And Stony Brook unsuccessful 3 times this period on the power play. Or this was their second, well, it was their third power play awarded. The last time they were on power play, it wasn't even a full power play. And this
Still
time,
counts.
well, yes. So 0 for 3. Not what they wanted to have going for them here today. And the same can be said for Syracuse, who were evidently good on the power play last night, going 2 for 4. We got 20 more seconds to go in this first period.
Hardy checks behind the Seawolves net here.
Another chance in front. Nullified by Heath Goldsmith. And are we going to get offsetting penalties? Is this offsetting, or is this going to be just one on Syracuse here?
We'll see. I mean, the trend would say it's 1. But you never know here. High stick is the call, and it's just 1.
And Brandt is fuming. Helmet is off.
He
is not happy.
Some words to say. Gotta say tonight, they're calling it by the book here tonight, folks. It's definitely an adjustment that teams have to make going into the second period.
A big face-off draw here for the Seawolves. Their 4th power play opportunity of the period. Off the draw, Desaro plays it back to the point. Nakagawa, Desaro steps in, missing wide. And that'll do it. 1 period in the books, and it's scoreless at 0. What a period, Trevor.
Yeah, it's one of the periods where both teams have to kind of go back to the locker room, calm the boys down a little bit, and say, all right, guys, got to keep the sticks down. We got to keep the sticks on the puck. Keep things within the lines here, because the refs are calling it tight tonight, and that's it's part of the game. It's not that they're calling a bad game; they're calling a tight game, and those are adjustments that the teams are going to have to make in the second period.
Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but how about Heath Goldsmith and the performance he is showing here today?
I think the reaction on the ice for the Seawolves is exactly what the coaching staff wanted. They came out checking. They came out with tons of intensity. That's exactly what they wanted.
Whereas Syracuse, AJ Finta, it seems like just business as usual, handling his own.
Brick wall.
Nothing more else to say there.
That's what you want coming out of your number 1 is tons of good scoring opportunities from the Seawolves being shut down over and over and over.
And the good thing for Stony Brook, this next period, they got a power play to start off with. And we're going to give ourselves a break here. And more hockey coming your way around the corner right here on the LI Sports Network in about 15 minutes. Sit tight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back soon.
At Stony Brook Medicine, our gastroenterologists perform a groundbreaking procedure that restores the ability to eat, so Kevin can enjoy dining out again. Our kidney transplant team has one of the fastest transplant rates in the nation, so Pat can spend time doing what she loves. Our skilled surgeons perform robotic-assisted surgery for colon cancer, so Chris can get back to reeling them in sooner. Leading the way to make your life stronger, we are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you. At Stony Brook Medicine, our gastroenterologists perform a groundbreaking procedure that restores the ability to eat, so Kevin can enjoy dining out again. Our kidney transplant team has one of the fastest transplant rates in the nation, so Pat can spend time doing what she loves. Our skilled surgeons perform robotic-assisted surgery for colon cancer, so Chris can get back to reeling them in sooner. Leading the way to make your life stronger. We are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
And we welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen. A minute and a half until the two teams get it going all over again here at the rinks. After 20 minutes of play, it's scoreless, but we've seen a fair share of activity, most notably the goaltending. It's been superb. AJ Finta, brilliant, coming off last night's big victory, but Heath Goldsmith, a big story here today, coming in for Steven Raganato, and the goal behind it is just to try something different here. Will a victory for the Seawolves, as Andrew Vigolucci told me before in pregame.
Yeah, so as I alluded to at the end of the first, the team has responded tonight. They came out much stronger than they did against Syracuse yesterday, and sometimes a little bit of change of pace goes a long way in hockey. For the Seawolves, though, they gotta get their heads back in the game and stop worrying about trying to get petty revenge and landing themselves in the penalty box, and they could find themselves with many more opportunities.
Definitely said it best. It's certainly been a change of pace, a lot more physical animosity showing between the two teams.
Oh yeah, the chippiness has come up, but the game is being called a lot tighter today. You saw a lot of things, the marginal things being let go, and a lot of back and forth that some would be called, some not. But I mean, it was overall a very tight game yesterday, and today it's a tight game here. And for the players today, it's just a matter of seeing what they can get away with. And
Stony Brook, they got the luxury
taking advantage of what you do.
Absolutely, and for Stony Brook, they got the luxury of starting this period off on the power play as Syracuse gets the clear, and Haskins will start from the deep end. As Stony Brook tries to make their way into the shallow end of the pool. As Mara takes it on a journey, back to the point. Tried to hand it off cleanly to Poirier, almost got it stolen as Haskins gets control of it. Haskins throws it through everyone there. It stays loose for a moment, but it got pushed aside. Heavy check thrown by Labos. Play continues, another shot misfired. As Stepney. Haskins Stepney. Now Mara. Feeds it in front. Kick save and a beauty. Rebounds. And a follow-up stop by AJ Finta. What a play there.
Stony Brook being a lot more patient on this power play. Not just throwing it at the net, trying to move, try to find openings. It's resulted in getting a few more pucks to the net than they did on the last power play.
AJ Finta read the bang-bang play, which could have resulted in a goal for Labos, if not for him sticking the left pad out and shutting him down. Stony Brook down to 50 seconds on the man advantage. Their fourth power play of this afternoon. Center feed, and that one shouldered off by Finta and further cleared away by Syracuse.
Good clear there from the Syracuse defense and a much needed one, as Stony Brook has been keeping the pressure on all throughout this power play.
Here is Haskins. Sending it back in the zone. Malik giving chase against Rugg. 20 more seconds of power play hockey. Center feed, almost.
Good defensive stick there to break up that pass low slot.
It almost bounced in, but it gets pushed away by Syracuse, getting a healthy line change out of that quick scare. And that will do it for 4 power plays. Stony Brook has yet to capitalize on the man advantage today, as Cormanic tries to make something happen here. Even aside once again. Center feed, missing there.
Off the side of the net.
That was Nakagawa with the latest scoring chance, as Syracuse tries to turn up the energy. Instead, it's Malik sending it right back in before heading to the bench. Back on the ice, Anastasio gonna rush over to try to get a hold of the possession. Instead, it's Nakagawa. There's a chance for Hyde. That one got blocked in escape there, provided by Fanning. Valenti at the top, fires one over the net. A screamer, just missing the top part as that one.
Top right corner on that shot, just missed.
Absolutely. This one is sent in front, pushed away by Finta before it gets cleared away and possibly carried in further by Fanning, but instead he elects to head to the bench. All out of gas as Syracuse gets healthy reinforcements. Meanwhile, Stony Brook with the breakouts coming in too late. Oh! Missed opportunity for DiNapoli. Came in with raging speed there.
Tried to dangle and was denied there by Finta.
Syracuse was denied a play happening, and here is Stony Brook the other way. Another save by Finta. The goaltending clinic that Finta is putting up is something to admire here today.
And this isn't like yesterday where you had a lot of low-quality opportunities from Stony Brook, but you have a lot of high-quality scoring opportunities from the Seawolves today.
And the evidence clearly shows, based on where they stand in shots on goal, 18-10 Stony Brook. None getting in the back of the net just yet. And it's something we anticipated going into this weekend based on how these two teams have played in head-to-head contests.
Yes, Syracuse does get up to play the Seawolves. And the wrist shot is gloved down and held on to by
Goldsmith. One could say a quiet start to the period. Hasn't seen much action just yet. It's been fairly dominated by the Seawolves in Syracuse's zone. Here's a shot off the draw by Wren and swallowed up by Goldsmith.
And Syracuse tallies their 12th shot on goal.
A new line change intact for Stony Brook. Hyde, Gorzalonic, Mara entering the fray. Robert Hyde stepping in against Cook. Wren. That one got blocked off a stick there. It stays in the zone. Off the boards, Wren. Lost it there to Wenrick. Colin Wenrick. Haskins. Here's Wenrick. Angles it forward and connected with Mara. Leading the cavalry. Here is Hyde along the wing in front. Almost connecting there with Gorzalanek, who raced to the net. Late man coming, it was Poirier, and Poirier will gather it in the corner. Hyde trying to mix it up and steal it away. Instead, it's cleared away by the Syracuse Orange as Kowalski gives it right back. No icing here as Syracuse giving chase as Poirier starts it from the back end. Kowalski, Gorzalanek up ahead, missing everyone. The intended pass was for Hyde, instead it goes for icing. Face-off draw once again residing in Stony Brook's zone. Syracuse getting a little more familiar with the possession in this area here in this period. Cato taps it along the wall. McCormick couldn't get it first. McCormick gets his chance, nearly centered it in front that time. Another opportunity missing wide, and Hyde will try to grab it cleanly. And Gorzalanek throws the heavy body against Duffy that time. Another zone exit that goes for icing against Stony Brook.
Coaching staff for Stony Brook incensed on the missed trip in the neutral zone there, right at the bottom of our frame here. And it looks like they're going to even wave this icing off here.
And if that is the case, a huge break for Stony Brook. Avoids what would have been a third consecutive face-off in their own zone. Instead, it's RJ Sember going toe-to-toe with Brandt in the neutral zone, and Syracuse sending it right back into familiar territory as Brandt gives chase against Kowalski. Duffy got bounced around in front. Brandt wheels one in, scores! A wraparound fire trigger that time by Ben Brandt. And Syracuse strikes first in the second.
That was a great goal there from Syracuse. Good offensive effort there. Wheel it around, get it into the slot, fire away at Goldsmith there, who's trying to make the transition over. And Stony Brook not able to get a stick on the puck in any point during that sequence.
Ben Brandt was hungry for a goal this whole weekend, and he finally has one. The team leader in points grabs the game's first here this afternoon. And Valente trailing back and further smashing the boards. Syracuse not letting off the gas and not letting off the hits one bit. And they're coming in with another chance, trickling towards the net. Syracuse not able in the pound at home that time as Stony Brook tries to break out cleanly. It's Trezera leading the charge, and Malik giving chase with the hit. Cormatic enters the fray once again. Trezera tried to belt one in front to no avail. Here is Malik rushing in, tried to squeeze across as Stony Brook starts to get something going against Syracuse, though, keeping them apprehended for the time being. And it further got cleared away by the Orange. Haskins with a sauce right back in the zone. Here is Duffy banking it up ahead. Fanning
turned over.
Lost control of it, but Brandt with the possession before it got coughed up to Labos. Labos couldn't connect with DeZaro. Rushing and keeping the zone. Cooper Smith aimed high, shoulder left side, but it went out of play. May have gotten a piece of finta.
It did. He got a little bit of shoulder on that before it deflected out of play.
And the goaltending clinic by AJ continues. And a big advantage here for Syracuse after the goal by Brandt as Finta continues to display marvelous goaltending here today.
Finta perfect on 21 so far tonight.
This one could be cleared away by Syracuse. Leads to an almost full turnover for Stony Brook. Instead, it's Syracuse re-engaging the other way. Plopped in forward by Carter Rugg as Gaffney tries to get control of it. Rugg couldn't twist it in front as Goldsmith will safely hold it up along the side of the goal, and this will bring out new faces to the ice for Stony Brook.
You definitely sense the level of frustration brewing here for the Seawolves as they're unable to solve Finta.
And for Syracuse, they are standing their ground even without one of their key players in the lineup, Jake Alicia, who we saw last night was knocked out of the game early. He was attended to. An undisclosed injury that put him out of the lineup here today as Syracuse tries to find a way to add to the board. Instead, Stony Brook able to put some sustained pressure on them. Poirier, Kowalski sends it forward and connected with Mara. Mara looking for a target. Gorzalonic with the reaching stick wasn't able to get much on it. And Syracuse pushing back the other way through center. Back in the zone comes Carter Rugg. Rugg tried to center it. No one was there to grab it for his team. And they are able to push and continue to make their presence felt against Stony Brook as the Seawolves not able to clear the zone. Chance from the top. Kick saved by... That was by Goldsmith, a heavy check thrown in the corner. One player, two players down and along the wall. That's Mara and Rugg entangled. Meanwhile, Syracuse's Gaffney tries to work away from Mara. Here's Cato sliding over with a chance deflected in front. Rugg dances away from Mara, tries to elude two, but couldn't, and Mara was tugged down. Play continues, another save made by Goldsmith, and now Cato will race back and retrieve it.
Mara and Rugg getting into it pretty heavily in that shift there, getting knocking each other down multiple times.
Almost eruption in front with Wren making contact there as Wren continues to try to make his presence felt. Cormatic leading the cavalry once again. Trezera drops in the trailer. Cormatic couldn't do much that time. Trezera with some back-checking presence showing a different side of him here today as that one went out of play.
And goes off a Seawolf on the bench and will face this one off to the right of Finta. Almost midway through the second period here, Stony Brook still leading in the shots on goal department, but more importantly for Syracuse, they got the first one on the board tonight, and right now that's the winner if the score stays as is.
Cormatic going toe-to-toe here against McEnroe. It's one to the back. Nestepny, quick trigger pull, stopped by Finta. Trezera winds, fires through a screen of bodies, another save by Finta. AJ Finta swallowing up all of these chances. And Stony Brook, the frustration beginning to reach insurmountable levels. Another chance. That one trickled wide as McCormick guides it back. Here's another opportunity, and that one got stopped. It certainly was a big chance for Syracuse that went out of play.
And Stony Brook getting lucky there as Syracuse had some solid scoring opportunities there. Like a neck guard or some other player paraphernalia was loose on the ice, and that was cleaned up.
A lot of zone presence here coming from Syracuse this period. One, and that sustained pressure playing to their advantage with evidence of the goal that was scored by Brandt. As this one gets pushed in front, deflected out of play.
Multi-puck.
You don't see that normally here.
There's a couple opportunities for some multi-puck action As we see some pucks lodged in the nets above the glass.
They ought to have someone retrieve those before these games get going. This one gets airmailed forward. Stony Brook not able to do much there. Now they'll get another crack at it as this may reach the end boards, and it does go for icing.
Close one there, but closest to the puck by the hash would have been the Seawolf.
And perhaps the break that Stony Brook needed.
Well, if anything,
take
it's an
advantage
offensive
of.
zone face-off, and for Stony Brook, you got to take those to the bank.
And Cormatic will try to catch one in here potentially, as if it goes their way. And this will stay in play, but it went into the hands of Syracuse, who come right in with another chance. It's loose. They score, but it was waved off before the puck came
free. The whistles were
free.
way before the puck went in the net. And definitely an early whistle there, but the whistle it is.
The crowd.
Stony Brook is got away with that one.
The crowd on the Syracuse side is letting the officials know, and the bench is
arguably unhappy, rightfully unhappy, but that is what it is.
And Heath Goldsmith got to be thanking that whistle was blown before everything else that transpired afterwards. And who knows if that is going to be the impetus of what may to come for Stony Brook to get back in this game.
Will it be a turning point, or will it be Syracuse continuing to put the foot down? But
we'll just have to wait and see as this one got cleared away and pushed forward. Breakaway chance for Brandt. He scores! On a majestic backhander to deke out Goldsmith for his second of the game, and the Syracuse Orange lead 2-0.
And that's just a great look there in the neutral zone. Find the open man who's got daylight in front of him, and then an excellent breakaway deke there. Get it on the backhand right around Goldsmith, who's thinking you're going right. He goes left, and the rest is in the net.
And that will sure quiet the negative energy that was coming from the Syracuse crowd, as they got a lot to be happy about there from Brandt, who collects his second of the game. And just like that, the deficit for Stony Brook grows by another margin. And another turnover committed here. Gaffney, and there's going to be a power play coming out of it, as the retaliatory action from Valenti tripping will put Stony Brook back to the penalty kill.
That's one that both refs saw 7 days from Sunday.
And this is the thing you highlighted in between periods that Stony Brook has to avoid if they want to stay in this game.
The Seawolves are becoming their own worst enemy tonight.
Fourth power play of the contest for Syracuse, after Stony Brook had their fair share of power plays so far. Public enemy number one on the ice for Syracuse. Ben Brandt dropped it between the legs to the point there. And now rushing over Fanning, but not before it gets cleared away. And there's a Syracuse player in the corner getting up slowly and heading to the bench. That was Duffy. Or no, he's going to stay on the ice as Syracuse presses forward. The sustained forechecking coming into light for the Orange. Chesner working at the top. Brandt controlling Delane. Brandt circles away from pressure, gives it back to the point. Duffy, Brandt, quick fire wagon touches. Chesner trying to wheel and deal. Duffy through traffic, save, loose, rebound. and it cannot be pushed home. And now we got some pushing and shoving. A horse collar by Haskins to tug Duffy to the ice. All sorts of calamity inside the goal mouth.
I'll try to untangle this one here.
And it doesn't appear there will be any penalties coming out of this, as Stony Brook will get a line change for the penalty kill. And the same will be done for Syracuse.
The face-off determined will be to the left, Goldsmith.
Cade Cook trying to provide something here for his squad. With a minute left on the power play. And here's Wren trying to get a touch on it to no avail. As RJ Sember puts the pressure on Nordwind. Nordwind has all the time in the world to press forward here. A lot of space. Here's Wren. Stony Brook trying to apply some constrictive force against Syracuse here. Wren firing. Hit off a stick in front. That was Poirier. That was Poirier's stick, preventing Wren from scoring there. Wren down to 17 seconds on the man advantage. So they quickly work the puck around in front. Stony Brook not able to get a full clear. Play continues in the zone. We're about to go back to 5-on-5 hockey. And here we go again. One-timer wouldn't go in the slot for Rugg. Center and feet again. Another touch wouldn't go. Late man, the pitcher, William Cormanek racing back at the right time, but the clear couldn't be made. Gaffney, an admirable job, but not for long. William Cormanek rushing in, kicks, save, Finta. Cook belted away from the possession, and Wemrick back to recollect as Syracuse gets caught in a line change. This allows Wemrick to gain the zone through center. Offsides called.
Stony Brook here trying to just find something, try to find a seam. You saw them trying to jump guys out of the zone on the penalty kill to try to get this offense jump started tonight, but to no avail.
Neither team has capitalized yet on the power play. Syracuse now 0 for 4 on the man advantage, as this will reach the end boards with no icing here, as Haskins tried to regather it cleanly. Instead, it was turned over to Syracuse once again. Haskins trying to get another stab at it cleanly. Syracuse, though, continuing with the sustained pressure. Another toss in front, save Goldsmith, who holds up.
Syracuse is just keeping the pressure going here against the Seawolves. And Stony Brook's unable to really get their forecheck going this period.
Mara Nakagawa and the Stepney back in the action for the Seawolves. McEnroe has seen a lot of face-offs this game for himself as Stepney and the Cavalry try to charge up here. One-timer wouldn't go. Mara was knocked down. Tobogganing to the end boards. Save made. We get a penalty called against Syracuse. And the fifth against the Orange, which will give Stony Brook another power play. To the box. Eli Pendergrass.
He's going to take 2 for holding.
Stony Brook, all they need is 1 to get them in this game. But they have yet to find a way to beat Finta to the punch. And here they are. The Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates power play begins. The 5th of the afternoon for the Seawolves. One-timer fanned on by Poirier and further cleared away by the Orange. Haskins keeps it under control. Now it's Mara. Delivers it forward to Nestepny. Nestepny able to get in the zone, but not cleanly that time. Haskins couldn't keep the possession there.
Cycled back again.
And he'll try to advance cleanly this time. He gets knocked down as Syracuse holds him off at bay, but Stony Brook keeps the possession in the zone. At the top, Mara. Haskins circles back in. Haskins. Poirier, one-timer, stopped, rebound loose, and further twisted out of harm's way by Syracuse.
Good clean shot there from Poirier with a rebound opportunity that unfortunately went unanswered by the Seawolves.
And Charles Poirier finds another gear. Here he comes. Poirier. Still moving as Nakagawa rushes in, fires! Just missing. A deceiving shot there, and almost bested Finta as Stony Brook continues to work on the power play. Finta, or pardon me, Hyde almost got that chance to go. Was on his radar, Hyde again. Another laser, but caught in the glove hand of Finta with 15 to go on the man advantage for Stony Brook.
And you can't fault the Seawolves here. They're getting their shots on goal on the power play here. That's at least 3 on this one alone, and Finta's been up to the task for every single one of them. He's been playing out of his mind tonight.
Finta is going to best the numbers he had last night. Collected 30 saves on 34 shots faced. He's already at 23. And maybe
27.
more here. Or 27, pardon me. As Stony Brook down to 5 seconds. On the power play, another save, and he gathers the rebound quickly, but not before a response in the corner. Everyone coming together as the officials try to defuse the schmozzle with 3:09 remaining in the second period.
3 orange on Cormatic, trying to rough him up here.
And from my perspective, I did not see a late poke, as that is the only thing I'm assuming as to what drew the iration of them.
And it looks like the Orange are going to go for one here. Looks like Cormatic's going to go 2. We'll see if that's it, or for additional Orange are going in the box there for the 3-on-1, but
I can understand that there was an attempt to maybe try and poke the loose puck free, but there was no contact from the stick of Cormatic with the glove of Finta that required that response there.
If it was in the crease and it was like at Finta, I'd understand it. Like, Finta went out and basically just went out and lunged for that puck. Super athletic play, and holds the puck up there. Everything else beyond that, I mean, come on, man.
I mean, I understand.
I can understand if he took a genuine stab at it. Like,
absolutely.
You'll let him know, but.
And I understand. He's been your MVP essentially this whole weekend, and you want to stick up for him. You want to have his back at all times.
We'll see what this untangles into here. With all the conversation, it'd be hard to believe it's just going to be 2 minutes aside.
Because as you said, there were at least three counting.
There's the 5-minute major. Was not expecting that one.
And a 2-minute penalty to Cormatic. So
the interesting look at the score sheet after this one.
There was at least 3 players involved there. One hit with heavy repercussions. And for Syracuse, it is the man they didn't want to be involved in the extracurriculars. That is Ben Brandt, who has both goals here today.
Well, Ben will have to will be out of play here until 2 minutes into the third period. We saw something, and the ref saw something in there worthy of 5.
Now the question is it also a game misconduct?
Well, I see him collecting
yes.
his gear. So he's not only is he going to be out of the game, then he's going to have. They're going to lose another player for 5 minutes to serve the penalty.
A huge blow to Syracuse's offense. And a team that's
he's beside himself in the penalty box here on the call, and
not to mention a team that is already without one of their top 3 points getters this afternoon. They can't afford to lose another one here, and evidently that will be the end of the game for Ben Brandt.
Well, let's see if they put somebody else in the box. That's for sure. Maybe they're just giving him the gate for the period. Someone's got to be in the box, though. And yeah, that's going to be a game for him. As it looks like someone else has just jumped in the box there to serve the 5-minute major. So that'll be a huge loss.
And this, the biggest Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates power play.
Well, not yet. We got to get through the Cormatic minor penalty as well.
Thank you for correcting me.
And then it'll be a 3-minute Stony Brook Orthopedics power play, provided there's no other altercations, which is not a guarantee.
Oh, yes. At this
Terms
point,
and conditions may apply.
At this point, there isn't any guarantee there will be any more extracurriculars. The only question is this the moment where Stony Brook comes to life? They haven't figured out Finta yet, as Syracuse continues to get chances against Goldsmith. Rugg, the latest to get his shot opportunity on him. So we got 2 big storylines here today. The goaltending match, the goaltending duel between Finta and Goldsmith, in which Finta has been dominating. And now
Finta definitely has the edge on that tonight.
And now Ben Brandt hit with the early ejection after capitalizing with a pair of goals here this afternoon. And Stony Brook will continue the work in the zone as they await the start of their 5th power play of the game. A big one coming for the Seawolves when it does get going, as Labos charging in, couldn't get it past Finta that time.
And gets bowled over for his efforts. Down to 2:04 to go in the second, at the business end of the second period here. Stony Brook still unable to figure Finta out tonight.
Stony Brook calmly setting things in motion. They'll soon ramp up the intensity, building in front. And Finta again with the denial. And Wren entangled with Kowalski, who went tabletopping over him.
And Syracuse ices the puck here. Got 1:43 now left in the second. Don't see much concern on the Syracuse bench here, but a couple players hunched over.
You can see Chris Gower follow, vocally getting louder and louder as the seconds wind down on the Cormatic penalty. And once that is over, this will begin the full power play for Stony Brook, at least the remaining minutes of what would have been a full 5-minute power play for the Seawolves. It's been played under 4-on-4 conditions so far. And here is chance for Anastasio, delaying, deals it down low. Chance in front, stopped, rebound, Finta, and he got that one too.
You gotta definitely tip your hat for the Syracuse defense making it tough for Stony Brook down in front of Finta. Finta able to find that one in the sea of sticks there. And now it's a 3-minute Stony Brook Orthopedics power play.
Finta officially surpasses the mark he put up last night, and he continues to climb up the ladder of saves here today. 33 on 33 shots faced. Stony Brook with their biggest opportunity yet on the remaining minutes of the major power play. That may potentially carry over to the third period.
It definitely will. It's a major penalty, so. Excellent clock management here from Syracuse, seeding the puck.
Cato lost an edge, and Cormanic's given chase. Throw in the body. Nakagawa there for support. 30 and a dust-up Bruin between Cormanic and one of the Syracuse players as Stony Brook works in front. That one got blocked off a stick there.
Down to 20 seconds.
Seawolves. Another chance nullified. Stony Brook running out of time in the period. As Trevor alluded to, this power play will soon carry over to the third because of the major power play ramifications. And the period is done. And a fist bump sportsmanship between the captain Cormanic and AJ Finta, who we can no doubtedly deem the MVP of the weekend so far for Syracuse. It is 2-0 Orange after 40 minutes of play. Trevor, your thoughts on the latest chapter of this hockey game?
Well, we're going to put the camera right on the superstar of this game here, none other than AJ Finta. Absolutely lights out. That is the sole reason why this game is where it is right now. And Stony Brook is going to find themselves on a regulation loss here if they can't figure that gentleman out there. But credit where credit is due, and a hat tip and a well done and a steak dinner for AJ Finta tonight, who's stopped 33 of 33 tonight and dozens of scoring opportunities here for the Seawolves.
The positives, though, for Stony Brook is that they got 20 minutes of hockey left under their belt to change the narrative. It's going to take a lot from them to will something out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the positive for the Seawolves is they're getting scoring opportunities. Finta is human, which is good, at least for what we know, he's human. So humans can make mistakes, opportunities can arise, and pucks can go in the net. So they're not dead yet. There's still time. There's 20 minutes of hockey to play. They're going to get a clean sheet of ice with almost 2 minutes for a power play opportunity here, and they can score as many times as they want, or as many times as they can on this major penalty here.
And not to mention, Syracuse is without their two top point getters, now with Brandt being ejected from the game for the madness that happened after whatever transpired in the zone. And for Stony Brook, you take advantage of that. You can push their buttons, maybe turn things around here.
And another thing here, we had the camera on this yesterday when we went off air. This is 2 days in a row. Somebody has picked the center of the chuck-a-puck target.
Okay, we're going to do 5 second countdown on the pucks. 5,
They got to move that target
4,
further out.
3,
The fans are getting too good.
1. Okay, no more pucks.
I don't know what it is. I think the competition is just getting better over the years.
And with the game hot on the ice and the chuck-a-puck hot on the target, we're going to take a 15-minute break here. When we come back, it'll be the third period of action here at the rinks on LI Sports Network.
At Stony Brook Medicine, our gastroenterologists perform a groundbreaking procedure that restores the ability to eat, so Kevin can enjoy dining out again. Our kidney transplant team has one of the fastest transplant rates in the nation, so Pat can spend time doing what she loves. Our skilled surgeons perform robotic-assisted surgery for colon cancer, so Chris can get back to reeling them in sooner. Leading the way to make your life stronger, we are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
And we welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen. We are 10 seconds away from getting this third period started here at the rinks. And to borrow an analogy, or actually no, borrow some of the terminology used by my partner here, Trevor Magnani, AJ Finta is pitching an absolute gem this afternoon.
Absolutely, and another 20 minutes of that, and Syracuse walks out of here 2 wins and 1 shutout.
And for Stony Brook, the loss in regulation, as you alluded to, is going to heavily impact them in the rankings for sure.
Absolutely, and even the overtime loss here tonight is going to have not only negative impacts for the Seals, but pretty positive ones here for the Syracuse Orange.
Well, fortunately for the Seawolves, they got 1:51 of power play time left under their belts, courtesy of the major that was called against Ben Brandt for the retaliatory actions against William Cormatic late in the second period. And more importantly, Brandt, he can go on and talk about what he's contributed to this team on the offense. He has 2 goals here today, but he will not be seeing any more ice time because of the ejection. And it's just another thing for Syracuse to be conscientious about, cognizant about in this case, as Stony Brook tries to excel at the power play here, and there's a heavy check thrown on Nakagawa. Hyde, DeZaro. Twice kept in by Wenrick. Wenrick to DeZaro. DeZaro back to Wenrick. Wenrick. DeZaro gives it back down low. Cormatic controlling. Hyde fought away by Finta. Another save. And Finta has got 34 here today.
So patience here on the power play here is a double-edged sword here for the Seawolves.
Nakagawa, he's okay after taking that hit along the wall. As Wenrick got it to Hyde. Hyde feeds it down low, couldn't connect cleanly with Cormatic. It slipped off the blade of his stick as Syracuse is going to take advantage of the zone exit, but not before the whistle blown for
offside.
Yes. The seconds trickled down here, inch by inch, whistle by whistle, stride by stride for Stony Brook's power play. The 5th of the afternoon, the biggest one of the contest. Here is Poirier. Working his way through the middle. He's going to chase after it himself. As Mara gathers it up along the wall. Cruises through center. Mara lost it there, and it's further cleared away by Wren. He's off to the bench, and so is everyone else that was on the ice for Syracuse.
One final chance here for the Seawolves on the 3-minute major penalty.
The Stepney. Haskins meets his man at the end boards. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. And it begins with Poirier regathering the possession before Rugg can get it before him. 2 minutes gone by. Finta has held his own as Stepney finds himself in some trouble exiting Stony Brook's territory, but not for long, as Poirier's gonna backhand it in deep. This gives Labos chase as Poirier heads off to the bench. And a crucial giveaway there by Syracuse, leading to a chance for Stony Brook. That shot into the mesh. And the Seawolves still struggling to find ways to best Finta.
Again, that's the Syracuse defense there. You get a stick in the shooting lane there, deflect the puck out of play and out of harm's way.
Cormanic, once again, set on the draw against McEnroe. This time it's won by Cormanic. Dezaro's chance missing wide. Trezera tries to step in as Valenti will do just that. Rushes over along the half wall. It's Syracuse taking advantage of this chance. But a scoring opportunity got fought off by Goldsmith. Syracuse keeping the pressure on Stony Brook. Although Stony Brook has gotten their fair chances against Finta, but to no avail. And here is another one possibly starting up again, but it's quickly mitigated by Syracuse. Stony Brook starting from their own end once again. Kowalski having some difficulty finding a man open and almost cost the possession there as Malik throws his weight into the zone. He's got help coming from both sides. It bounces around in front. Malik able to control it before giving it back to Poirier. Poirier got it over to Kowalski. Kowalski dishes it back to Poirier. Poirier controlling. Poirier, he gets a whistle.
The net's off the mooring.
And the play was not even close to where the whistle was blown.
Well, regardless, we'll stop play and face it off to the right of AJ Finta.
And the gap in shots on goal continues to widen.
At this point, I think the gap in the shots on goal is irrelevant for the Seawolves. The only thing they're caring about is getting one behind Finta. Whatever that number on the shots on goal at this point is,
absolutely
just a coincidence.
Oh yes, indeed. As a matter of fact, they can get, if it's possible, they can get to 50 shots on goal, but they could still be facing that same challenge of getting one past Finta.
Well, that's where we're at right now for the Seawolves, and for them, hopefully a conversation locker room and some ideas brewing on how they're going to pull it off.
There's Stepney backhanding one out of sight, but it stays on the ice. Wenrick through traffic and swatted away by Finta. And you have to wonder, when will a timeout be called potentially here by Chris Garofalo? I would have to assume some point, maybe halfway.
No, I think you're holding out to the end there. You're trying to hope your boys are going to get something in the net in the interim, and you're saving that for a rainy day effectively during this game.
And Stepney slides one over in front. Mara couldn't pick up the rebound cleanly. And one's
broken stick here for a Syracuse Orange defenseman.
This is a chance here for Stony Brook to take advantage of. However, the broken stick pushed aside. Haskins tossed his in front. Couldn't get a clean play to go as Cook will lead the Cavalry back in the zone, but not before Wenrick throws the hammer. Wenrick tried to unleash once again. Now it's Haskins banking it off the boards and back in the hands.
Haskins is looking a little banged up after throwing that check. He's going to go off for a change.
Absolutely. And for Stony Brook, they can't afford any casualties here. They've already find themselves in a disadvantage. Here's Cooper Smith. Kowalski tried to step into one, and it gets almost turned over as Cook had a whole breakaway, possibly that time, if not for the late stick being challenged by Kowalski. And Kowalski guard his man Rugg. As DiNapoli will search for the possession, toss it wildly around the wall, hoping it sticks to someone. And Kowalski turns it over. Here's Emery.
Easy break in here for the Orange.
But Stony Brook back on top of the possession. Poirier with space to make something happen here. Hands it off in the trailer. And Kowalski's dish couldn't connect on the stick of Sember. Syracuse keeping Stony Brook at bay, but the hand pass called here.
I don't know if he got a stick on it before it was yanked away by Syracuse, but the overeager call potentially prevents the puck going the other way. Conference here at center ice between the officiating crew here, and we'll face it off at center ice.
And here is a toss in by Cato that rides along the wall. Syracuse trying to set it back in motion as they attempt to add more to the scoreboard. But Stony Brook coming in hot with a chance. It's Trezera streaking up ahead, but couldn't finish the job that time. He was heavily banged into the boards. Slowly getting up now, trailing behind the play. Back up to his feet as Stony Brook tries to exit the zone cleanly without any more damage. Trezera trying to keep Syracuse at bay. The Orange providing more sustained pressure here against the Seawolves. Hyde. Controlling, dangling. Robert Hyde! Missed wide.
I think that caught just a little piece of finta there as it deflected up.
With that, if that is the case, 38 saves under his belt. Oh my gracious. A desperation poke check there, almost got the worst of finta, and there's a heavy collision with Goldsmith covering up the puck. 12:34 remaining here in regulation. 2-0 Syracuse.
Time is running out here for the Seawolves to get something started.
Jack Red wins it over, but Stony Brook coughs it up once again. Unable to exit the zone cleanly off these draws. And another misplay by Stony Brook, allowing Syracuse to maintain pressure on the Seawolves in their zone. Now we get Labos turning up the juice, but missing wide on that shot. It was more like a desperation heave that time. Chesner looked like he was going to race after, instead elects to go to the bench for a line change. And it probably worked out for the better, because Stony Brook is hungry for any type of opportunity here as Goldsmith covers it up once again.
Stony Brook, we won't be surprised if they're going to try to send somebody early, try to get somebody down, and try to maybe catch a breakaway, try to take on Finto one-on-one.
There is Ruggs' opportunity missing off the body of Goldsmith. Nordwin, desperation heave missing wide. This one gets wheeled around the wall once more by Syracuse as Rugg entangled. Heavy check thrown by Emery on Mara. Mara delivers retribution, but he got the wrong man. He tagged Rugg. Meanwhile, Syracuse almost calculating another chance, but to no avail as Stony Brook was able to hold him off at bay. Rugg circling back, looking for a lane to push ahead. He's got the momentum. Syracuse, though, running into some difficulty exiting through center. Now they plop it forward. The Seawolves find themselves in trouble here. Stony Brook with a block. Trezara providing that. And Joey Trezara trying to skate in, do everything he can under his belt to make something happen. Armo's up in the air, and we'll see why.
Hooking is the call.
And you best believe this is going against Syracuse, and it's Gaffney that will sit for 2, giving Stony Brook their 6th power play of the afternoon.
Well, for Stony Brook, this is crucial to convert. Syracuse has been perfect on the power play, on the penalty kill all day.
Both benches offering stick taps aplenty here as they try to create energy on both ends. Hyde, save Finta. DeZaro, Wenrick, 6th power play of the game, brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates. Serving! Score! Finally! Just in time! Nakagawa gets Stony Brook on the board.
And in an opportune time here, Syracuse is going to complain about the net going off, but that doesn't matter here, as that had no material impact on the goal going in.
2 on the weekend for lucky number 13, Justin Nakagawa. He's got 6 this season.
And much like the referee blowing the whistle, the referee seeing the net go off and not making a material impact there on the puck going in the net. Otherwise, it's going to mean Stony Brook has cut the deficit in half.
Turnover. Chance. McCormick. Fought away by Goldsmith. Stony Brook 1 for 6 on the power play. And they'll try to use that goal to their advantage to tie this baby up. As if Syracuse doesn't have anything to do with it. They continue to apply sustained pressure against the Seawolves, and they almost broke out the other way that time. Kowalski holds his man up against the boards. Has support coming from Anastasio. Centering feed! Couldn't go that time for the finish for McCormick. McCormick throws it back in front, trying to see what sticks, but to no avail. As Stony Brook pushes back the other way. Poirier puts on the brakes. Anastasio centers one, no one home. Trezara grabs it at the right moment.
And this might be another one here.
A penalty against Stony Brook.
High sticking is the call.
And the 5th of the game for Syracuse. And Anastasio, his 2nd penalty of the game. And he is
not happy at all.
Absolutely incensed. It's the best way to describe how he's feeling right now. At Stony Brook. We'll try to kill off these 2 minutes against the Orange. Heavily checked in the boards was Chesner. He's back up to his feet. Chesner deals it back to the point. He controls it. Playing catch at the top with Duffy. Emery. Now Fanning. Centering feed. Players bunching up together on the Seawolves, allowing Syracuse to take advantage of it for a bit. Another opportunity on the far side. Couldn't be jammed home there. Goldsmith may have gotten a skate on it. One player got knocked down in front on Syracuse. That was Fanning. Fanning in the bumper as it's played down low. Duffy eludes his man. Chesner back to Duffy. Duffy tried to pull the trigger. It slipped off his stick. And Cormanic has it. Instead of sending it forward, he's going to toss it back. And he gets mixed up there with Duffy.
Bit of a scramble change here for the Seawolves, but they're going to get it all the way down and get a shot on goal.
And Finta, the shutout bid for him ends in the third period as he reaches 39 saves here today. 39 saves on 40 shots faced. A big mark for him. And another clear made by the Seawolves.
Stony looking strong on the penalty kill here. That's 2 more minutes off the clock in their bid to tie this game.
A key turnover made, or interception made momentarily by Wenrick. Back the other way, and play continues after one player descended to the ice. And we're back to 5-on-5 hockey, and the intensity is really starting to reach new levels now. Players starting to quarrel corner by corner. Players are starting to quarrel in. Mara pitchforks that one out of the zone, able to push it out further. Nestepny. Time continuing to wind down on the Seawolves as they aim to punch home the equalizer.
Down to 6 minutes and 10 to go in this third period.
Poirier evades one. Gets by 2. And offsides called. And Robert Hyde is not happy about that one bit. And he is giving it to the linesman. Meanwhile, Sean Cato got knocked down. I didn't see what happened. But based on the reaction from the fans here, I would assume it was contact made by a Seawolf.
The referee kind of just gave a nod after that one, saying, all right, well, let's just keep going here. And it seems like they're going to let him play here a little bit here at the end of the game.
Kormanek. And now Kowalski will dish it along the wall. Couldn't connect there with Kormanek as McCormick played it back. This one gets banked forward as Syracuse tries to charge up once again. Kowalski able to shield away from the attack. Kormanek roughing his man up. The emotions beginning to run high here in the third.
Maybe a little higher in the stands than on the ice.
Absolutely. Another check thrown. And Kormanek angles it forward, couldn't connect there with Hyde. There is, Kormanek looked like he was going to unload there, but McCormick put on the brakes as Hyde throws it along the wall. Around the wall it went as it continues to trickle around the zone. Another block made. Nearly found the stick of Mara, who has to peel back. Mara controlling. Mara trying to dance.
Trying to get through 2 orange, but unsuccessful.
Got tangled up there, and a heavy check thrown against Wren. And more contact.
For good measure.
Everyone coming together in the neutral zone as one player lost their helmet, and he tried to rush over to the bench as fast as possible before he could get caught by the head official blowing the whistle.
Yeah, it's an immediate whistle blow. You're not beating that one.
He tried to channel in his best Guy Lafleur, one could say.
It's not the NHL where you have to go off after you lose your bucket. It's an immediate whistle no matter what here. A for effort, though.
Nordwin with a wild toss in off the glove of Goldsmith. Stony Brook looking for another chance to go their way. It's Nakagawa dragged to the ice. Play continues. Another check thrown, that time Labos on Duffy, but he absorbed all that pressure against him. Seawolves trying to counteract the other way, instead a turnover committed, and Duffy, who looked like he was gonna get blasted.
Was the one doing the blasting.
Indeed. Well, we're gonna get a penalty called against Syracuse. And Duffy bracing for the hits. May have gotten his arms up a little too high. And that caused, oh. And Rugg hit it into the empty net. And normally there would usually be the...
And it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, it looks like.
And who was it on? It was on Duffy. And good on Stony Brook, because normally in a situation like that where a player shoots after the whistle on an empty net, someone goes after him. Instead, Stony Brook...
it's a bench minor, it looks like, here against the Syracuse bench here.
So 2 minutes against the Orange. A big power play looming for the Seawolves.
Successful on their last one. They're looking to see if they can make lightning strike twice here late in the third period.
Can it be seventh heaven for Stony Brook? 1 for 6 so far. Can they make it 2 for 7 on this latest Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates power play? As Hyde and Cormatic. Here's Wenrick. Firing, blocked, in front! Denial after denial by AJ Finta. And Hyde showing some gamesmanship there, but with the way this contest has brewed, McEnroe thought he was chirping his goalie. What a stop. A flurry of saves there by Finta.
Finta embracing the inner hungry hippo on that one. Lunging out to grab that one.
The shutout may not be intact anymore, but he is still pitching a gem. As DeZaro works at the point. Nakagawa, no one in sight. Wenrick has to step over. Wenrick guides it along the wall. And him and Cormatic trade feeds there. Who's gonna get something for the Seawolves? Almost.
Nakagawa was setting up in the office there, trying to get the one-timer set up, but unfortunately that puck just did not find his stick.
Time running out on the power play. A minute to go on the man advantage for Stony Brook. Down the wing, DeZaro put on the brakes, but it wouldn't be enough to get something going there. And we're closing in on the 2-minute warning of this hockey game.
Seawolves settle it down, try to set up a play here.
Mara. Labos try to lead it to Mara as Nestepny gives it on over. Couldn't connect cleanly with Mara as Labos has to take over in the corner. Haskins controls at the top, 20 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Mara scoots by, and now Poirier takes over. Poirier aims a little low that time.
Right to find a seam there. Found the corner and a quick exit.
We're watching on Goldsmith because we know he's going to come to the bench. A minute and a half to go. Stony Brook unsuccessful on the latest power play attempts. They go 1 for 7.
Goldsmith still in the net.
Fanning. And now Nordwind plays it forward. This is going to reach the end boards for icing. A big face-off draw coming here for Stony Brook.
Crucial one here, and timeout's going to be called here by the Seawolves.
A big one for Stony Brook as Chris Garofalo and co rally the troops. And
the Syracuse fans just raining it down on the officiating team.
You talk about the temperature being hot up here with having the crowd over by us. I can't imagine what it's like down there.
4 feet to our left is it's a hot zone.
I can't imagine what it's like on the ice right there right now. The emotions, the anguish of these players that they are going through right now.
It's a tough one. This is you got to keep your head square. You got to keep your tempers cool, and If you're Syracuse here, you know you're a minute 6 out here from closing this one out.
Now for the Orange, the biggest thing they need to avoid is taking a big penalty here, because you know Stony Brook's going to make this 6-on-4 when that happens.
Face-off is going to be to the right of Finta.
We'll see who they put out on the ice.
I think you know exactly who it's going to be. Cormatic, Hyde, Nakagawa, Wenrick, Mara, and DeSaro.
Chris Garofalo is putting his chips forward. He is all in.
One Seawolf not on the ice, one Goldsmith.
And a timeout called by Syracuse.
Trying to ice the team.
Took the words right in my mouth. That was exactly what I was thinking about there.
Syracuse clearly wanting to make an adjustment here.
For the Seawolves, after this one is put to bed, they will gear up for their next matchup, which they got Farmingdale coming into town for a crosstown showdown here at the rinks.
A non-ranking impacting showdown, as Farmingdale is ACHA D2 this year. I think they're making the jump next season to D1, right?
Yes. But as you said, perhaps maybe a test for them to see how they fare against their potential future rival.
Well, they've been playing some D1 teams this season to get themselves ramped up, and they've been struggling against some of the D1 opponents, but we'll see what happens when they come into the rinks, and probably for some of these players, some familiar territory. No changes here for the Seawolves. Empty net, 106 for it all.
All hands on deck. DeSaro got it across. DeSaro flings it over. Nakagawa fanned on the first shot, tried to get it over to no avail. On the second try, and Syracuse clears this one down the ice. The race is on, no icing. Wren is there first. Now we are down to the final 43 seconds of this hockey game.
Dangerous cross-ice pass there.
Bam! Duffy lights up the captain at center ice. Here's a chance. Tied! Stopped! Rebound! 2 denials! And a massive pile up in the end boards. After one player came in late with a rather dangerous check. And was that a Syracuse player that delivered it on the Seawolf?
Syracuse scratches behind the glass there, taunting the Seawolves. Let's see what happens here. We'll see if there's any calls or if we're just going to drop the puck here. Looks like we're going to opt for just dropping the puck, get the game moving.
The animosity continues to build amongst these foes. For Stony Brook, it's desperation mode. They need to win this in order to stay among the top teams in the ranking. In the rankings for the ACHA.
All right, well, we're going to settle it down here and drop the puck here. 19.9 to go here. Syracuse trying to make a last-second change here.
Mara. Perhaps the biggest face-off of the game for him. Stony Brook wins it on the tie-up. Wenrick. DeSaro shakes, fires, save! Finta. Was that the lasting stop? Another chance! Stopped! ACHA Finta denies DeSaro and leaves an indelible mark on the islands.
AJ Finta, 44 saves on 45. 1 second separates the Orange from a big victory here.
Watch out here, things could get nasty.
It's gonna have to be a slap shot off the draw, and that's gonna be it.
And that will be it. The emotions simmer down. Oh, wait a minute, wait just a minute.
Yeah, no, that's just celebration there. We're good.
Now Nakagawa was getting pinned up against the boards, but there he is walking away as Syracuse sweeps the weekend and takes it over the Stony Brook Seawolves 2-1. AJ Finta. We talked about him all game long. Actually, the moment he was named the starter last night, he just could not be out of the conversation.
Absolutely.
The MVP of the weekends.
Yeah, and AJ Finta, we don't do 3 stars up here, but he'd be my first, second, and third tonight for the absolute masterclass of an outing.
Well, Syracuse will take the bus trip all the way back up north. The Seawolves will leave the ice, reflect, regroup as they gear up for a non-conference, non-divisional matchup against the Farmingdale State Rams, as they will look to bounce back from today's loss and move on. And they take on their next ACHA opponent when that time comes after the Thanksgiving break. But for now, handshakes, positive pleasantries, and salutes for the fans as we leave the broadcast. From all of us here at LI Sports Network for Stony Brook Seawolves Hockey, Trevor Magnani, this is Mike Calandra saying so long, good night, and thank you for watching.